use of water has been with us for centuries, and now it's being used as an alternative or supplement to medical treatment. On this episode of Health Digest, we look at hydrotherapy and how this physical form of therapy is used to treat injuries and other medical conditions with the aim of improving mobility and other physical functions. Whether saline or fresh, rough or calm, it has its own unique way of asserting its presence. While it can be destructive, it is also considered as life by humanity. Beyond the myths and mysteries that lie within it, water has its own healing properties beyond the unknown. If you are recovering from an injury, living with a chronic illness, or experiencing pain, you are likely to be referred to a physical therapist for physiotherapy.
Let's go down. Come up.
This is a form of treatment aimed at improving a patient's quality of life through exercise and hands-on care. Most patients undergo this form of treatment on dry land. But for those diagnosed with various neurological conditions, injuries, chronic pain, arthritis, among other conditions, a physical form of treatment known as hydrotherapy is often recommended. This procedure encompasses a broad range of approaches and therapeutic methods that takes advantage of physical properties of water.
Hydrotherapy basically comes from two words, which is hydro and therapy. Hydro meaning water and therapy meaning treatment or cure. So hydrotherapy is a form of treatment that is used by physiotherapists to treat some conditions, to help restore function, and also to improve mobility.
Hydrotherapy, which is also known as aquatic therapy, involves low-impact aerobics, stretching and strengthening exercises as well as functional training, all performed in water.
Some of these orthopedic conditions will include patients who have had total hip replacements, knee replacements, and they have been asked to do walking, so they can benefit from hydrotherapy. Because in hydrotherapy, the patients are able or allowed, can bear weight without actually causing a lot of pain. Some of the other conditions that we do in hydrotherapy that help restore function or to restore function and improve mobility could be patients who have arthritis and they come in with stiff joints. They can benefit from various exercises and stretches that are done inside the pool. Most of the patients that we do see here come with musculoskeletal conditions, and some of these conditions include back pains. We have neck pains. We have patients who have stiffness of various joints. This stiffness could be from either injury or patients who have had surgeries and they have developed some stiffness during the time of healing. Also, we do see patients who have neurological conditions. Some of these conditions are multiple sclerosis. We have patients sometimes who have spinal cord injuries, and this will benefit from a hydrotherapy, of course, after thorough assessment to determine suitability of that patient to get into the pool. Some other conditions that can benefit from hydrotherapy here, and we have seen, are patients who have labor pains. Hydrotherapy has been proven to help ease labor pains in some patients. In certain cases as well, we also see patients who have mental health conditions, and this hydro will help promote relaxation, and it helps that good feeling has a positive effect on patients who have some of these mental conditions.
This form of physical therapy leverages two main properties of water: buoyancy and resistance. Physiotherapists say the buoyancy aspect creates an ideal environment for rehabilitation by reducing pressure on the joints and bones, thus reducing pain.
It also makes it easier for patients to move about and perform the exercises with ease, including the ones that could be difficult or uncomfortable to achieve on land, such as jumping or running. Resistance, on the other hand, helps in reducing stiffness, improving joint mobility, and strengthening muscles.
Basic principles that we use in hydrotherapy are actually three. One of them is the heating effect of water. Our hydrotherapy is heated to a certain temperature, which is about 38 degrees centigrade, and this in itself helps promote relaxation for patients who have various forms of pains and also stiffness. We also do have buoyancy, which is also a very important principle of water that really helps us to makes it possible for the therapist to perform some activities that ordinarily would be very difficult to do on land. This is basically because the effect of buoyancy makes a person's weight much less, and the therapist is able to do those maneuvers with a lot of ease while they're in the water. The other principle will be hydrostatic pressure or resistance, and this is whereby as a patient or as you immerse a body in water, the water itself puts some resistance on that body, and then that resistance itself can be useful to help strengthen muscles as a form of treatment.
Recovering from an injury or surgery can be a daunting and painful process that takes time. However, experts say hydrotherapy helps speed the healing process.
Most of the back pains are a condition that people live with for some time. So most patients will come for when the back pain has come, or you are in an acute phase of a back pain, the patients will come for hydrotherapy. And normally between 5 to 10 sessions of hydrotherapy could be adequate to get some relief. But as you know, back pain is chronic in some cases, and patients would continue with therapy for as long as the pain is there. And this now the patients will come maybe once or twice a week, depending on their availability. There's also that relaxation effect. Once the patient is in water, the heat properties of water will help promote circulation, and that goes a long way in relieving those symptoms that the patient has come in with. We also have patients who come in with neck pains, and a similar approach is employed to kind of relieve the patient's symptoms. Now, patients who are weak, and I said from the beginning, we do have patients who have neurological conditions, maybe paraplegic patients, sometimes hemiplegic patients, and others who just come with general body weakness. The physiotherapists will do a thorough assessment to make sure that the patient is fit to get into the pool. So they will determine suitability, and then after that assessment, the patient is put to the pool. Now, depending on what the therapist wants to achieve with that particular patient, which could be to improve the strength of that patient, to improve coordination, to improve stability, all those things, then the physiotherapist will perform the relevant exercises that are needed to achieve the specific goals of that patient.
Not every patient is eligible for this type of physical therapy. Patients with open wounds, the epileptic, the ones experiencing incontinence or cannot control their bowels or urine, among other conditions, are not eligible for this type of therapy.
For our purposes here, patients are referred by their doctors, primary doctors, and once they come into our department, they are attended to at our reception, and then they are allocated to the various therapists that we have in the department. So if, for instance, a patient has been referred with back pain, then the physiotherapists will do a very extensive assessment of the patient, and from their assessment, they will determine the suitability of that patient to have hydrotherapy. So once the patient has been determined that they would benefit from hydrotherapy, of course they are explained to what is hydrotherapy, what are the likely benefits, and what are the disadvantages of hydrotherapy, all those, so that the patient is aware of the treatment they are about to get and what are the expected results of outcomes. So after that, then the patient is directed to the hydrotherapy, then the sessions do begin.
As explained by physiotherapist Makau, the young ones can also benefit from hydrotherapy.
We do have a branch of physio that is called pediatric physiotherapy. Some of the pediatrics or children who come in various conditions, basically most common is cerebral palsy or spastic conditions that are with children. Also patients or children who have arthritis, they can benefit from exercises in the pool. Also some patients or children who are born with neurological conditions and need to be exercised to improve function and also strengthen their muscles, they can as well benefit from hydrotherapy. Other patients who come in for hydrotherapy are patients who have general body weakness, and the aim at that point would be to improve the strength of those particular patients, so that in the long run you improve their mobility and ability to function, which goes to improve their activities of daily living for the particular patients.
For patients who require this form of therapy but experience mobility challenges, a hoist is often used to lower them in and out of the pool.
Some of these patients who have mobility and are basically weak come in on wheelchairs. So it will be a big challenge for them to get into the pool without being helped. So in our department, we do have a patient hoist. This hoist is used to put the patient into that hoist, and then the patient is assisted to get into the pool by hoisting the machine up and down into the pool. This makes mobility on the patient easy and also ensures safety of the patient as well as they get into the pool.
The water used in hydrotherapy can be in various forms. It could be in form of ice or cold water, or like in this case, warm water, which is often heated to a certain temperature. This depends on the targeted condition and expectations from the session. During these sessions, rehydration is often encouraged to help replenish lost fluids through sweat.
Both the patient and therapists are losing a lot of moisture or fluid because the water is hot, and they're also performing some exercises inside the pool. Now, to make sure that you do not lose a lot of fluid from your body or the body system, we provide some drinks, could be water or juices for patients, so that we rehydrate or replenish the water that they are losing during the period. A session of hydro would last about 45 minutes to an hour, and in those minutes, if a patient is not properly hydrated, they will have some effects. And some of these effects will be that the patients will have headaches, might come out with headaches. They might have dizziness, experiencing some episodes of dizziness as they get out of water. So we provide fluids to make sure that some of those symptoms are not happening to our patients.
There is a growing body of evidence supporting the use of hydrotherapy for many conditions. Its benefits have been used for centuries. Whereas water is essential for hydration, its use in hot forms dates way back. The ancient Greeks and Romans used bathing in hot springs for a variety of therapeutic benefits. By about 500 BC, the ancient Greeks began to understand the properties and benefits of hydrotherapy. Greek physician Hippocrates particularly recommended hydrotherapy to assist in relieving medical conditions such as jaundice and rheumatism. Through the ages, the use of this aquatic physical therapy developed. The Romans enhanced it by massaging oils into the skin prior to bathing. In Japan, people flock onsens, which are hot springs, to relieve stress, muscle pain, and other ailments. The therapy has made a comeback and is now being used as a treatment or supplement to current medical conditions. A session of hydrotherapy will have about 3 patients. In a week, Macau and his colleagues conduct about 8 to 10 sessions of hydrotherapy. At least 30 patients undergo this form of therapy at the facility. To ensure patient safety, the tiles used in this environment are non-slip. The floors have to be kept dry all times during sessions to avoid preventable accidents, according to Macau. Overall, water is one of the oldest, safest and cheapest methods of treatment. Physiotherapists say if you are recovering from surgery, an injury, or just want to improve your balance, then hydrotherapy is your best bet. Gloria Milimu, KTN News.